Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Does It Suck? With Nick, and Bear, and Lance. Why did I turn into Razor Ramon?
I don't know. I think he went from Transylvanian to French.
Welcome and there. It's good to meet you.
Say hello to the bad guy. This week, they made the mistake of giving me the option of picking the movie.
No, we didn't. Lance decided that we were taking turns picking vampire movies.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Blood Rain wouldn't have happened. You're welcome.
Oh, fuck. Is that what you know what?
You made the decision that we're taking turns, which means Blood Rain happened. And then Blood Rain got a lot of views, so when my turn comes back up,
Spoiler.
Well,
you know what's happening.
I didn't want
awful shit.
I didn't want it to be a cheertatorship. I wanted it to be a cheerocracy.
Okay.
So, I picked.
I approve.
There
Thank you.
you go. So this week, this episode, I decided to go with the 1987 classic, The Lost Boys. It definitely fits the criteria of a vampire movie, and we're gonna kick it around a little bit this week and find out: does it suck or does it blow?
Bye.
Does it bite?
Bite, right. Does it suck is it was pretty good, and does it bite means it bites our ass. So
It's the opposite.
yeah. So So let's go ahead and get into it. And Nick, if you had to give The Lost so this is weird because we're like, does it suck or does it bite?
But we're giving a score.
But then we give scores.
That's
so it's
because
like,
our does it suck or does it bite thing is a gimmick.
Yeah, and then
yeah.
that comes at the end.
yeah,
Yeah.
true. Okay, so Nick, if you had to rate this movie, 0 being this movie fucking bites, or 10, which this movie sucks, but in a good way, what would you give it?
I think I'm going to give it a 6. I guess I'll be generous and round it up because
Shit! I reversed them.
You know what? I knew he was going to do that because beforehand he told us I was going to go first.
Quick, swap it.
I had Amber. Okay.
I'm very wrong, probably.
I was right.
Oh, I was right too. I did a. God.
Now no one will believe you.
We're only 2 minutes and 36 seconds.
Nope.
Okay. Well.
One take.
Well then, Amber,
Yeah.
if you were to give The Lost Boys a rating from 0 to 10, what would you give it?
Well, I don't want to have your score influence what I'm going to say. So,
Were you gonna say that before you
Were
saw
gonna
it?
say that anyway?
actually, no, I was not going to say 8 before then. So I just
What
want.
were you gonna say?
Yeah, we know you were going to say 8 for me. So if you are being honest that you mixed them up, which we are likely to believe you, you had put 8. So no, I wasn't going to give it an 8. It is a movie I've watched since I was a little kid. And I don't remember the first time I watched it. I was probably sub 10 though, so that says a lot about the liberties that were given to me at my house. But I would probably give it a 7. I really enjoy it.
I fucked up, so I might as well just have fun at this point. All right. Well, 7 is not what I expected. I expected that to be a hard 8 for you.
Given the fact that I don't think I've ever really heard Amber talk about Lost Boys, I'm like, but when we were watching it, she was able to I remember this thing. I'm like, she probably is okay with it, but it's not like the how funky is your chicken bit that always comes out.
If she had a saxophone every time you came in the house, she'd be like, so, I mean.
But I would think it would be Epic Sax Man, not this movie.
No, I honestly, the guy who's in Lost Boys, that is, I see him before I see Epic Sax Man.
No, I see.
Every time. But again, I saw this movie when I was probably 7, if I'm being generous.
Well, I saw the.
I don't think I was 5 at least. I think I was probably 7.
I saw the Careless Whisper guy long before I saw Epic Sax Man, but that still is the one that took the impression for me.
Careless Whisper guy?
There's an old video on YouTube where a guy would go into public and just play the Careless Whisper part of the saxophone.
Oh.
And then he'd be like trying to escort him out, but he'd just be climbing on tables and doing that.
I remember that. Okay.
I don't
All right.
remember that.
Yeah. It's just.
It's old internet.
Yeah. It's old internet. It's back when what was his name? The fucking dude who does the Hello, class. Today we're going to talk about salvia
Oh, yeah, but back when...
Big Money Salvia.
Before that. Maybe like his very original movie, or his very original...
Yeah. Back when he used to do gardening on Salvia.
Yeah, Getting on Salvia. I would have equated it to back in the Mega 64, is that what they're called? The guys that would go in public with video game stuff and cosplay and just be like assholes to people.
I don't remember that one.
Okay. Anyway, so Lance, what would you give Lost Boys?
I would give Lost Boys a 7.
Hey.
I went too high.
Yeah. It's a goodie. It's one of those movies that you definitely remember, but like thinking about it back in the day when I saw it and then like watching it now, it was like, this movie was 50% talking about vampires, but no real vampire-y shit going on, and then it gets the vampire-y shit, so it's kind of like...
It's a respectable build-up.
I think that's why I rounded it up from a 5 to a 6. Because the ending was fun, most of the rest of it not super amazing.
No, it's Kiefer Sutherland gives good vampire face. Hi, Michael. What are you gonna do, Michael? That's just that one part when they stake Bill. Mm-hmm. Oh shit!
Spoilers?
Okay, I'm just fucking all up all over today. So this is the
We're
part.
going to go into spoilers now. Like, where you heard that if you're not Amber and haven't watched this movie.
To be fair, we usually say that we're going into spoilers after you give our ratings, but because they let me take the wheel on this one,
It's your movie. You picked it.
yes. So,
So if you ever wonder why I tend to introduce the things, Lance is like, you do it. I don't want to mess it up.
and you're seeing it on full display right now.
Yeah.
So here we are in spoiler territory. There's
So
no
they kill Bill.
so there's no one named Bill in the movie. So I think you're still okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, this movie was one that was kind of polarizing for me back in the day when I saw it, because it's like, like an 80s movie that's like a quintessential 80s movie.
It's
like,
one of like the more original horror movies of the 80s.
yeah, it was one of those ones that stuck with me.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I watched it during formative years, so it's kind of always just stuck with me. I've watched it many times over the years. My brother was a big Corey fan, and when I say Corey fan, he liked the Coreys.
The two Coreys, yeah.
And this is one of the first films that they were in together. So, we watched a lot of Lost Boys. We watched a lot of License to Drive. That was another big Corey's movie. I'm sure there was other ones, but those are the two that stuck out the most to me.
Don't know that I've seen a Corey Haim movie.
Until now.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Really?
Corey Feldman was in more
he didn't look
stuff than...
familiar. And Haim died fairly young, didn't he?
He died, I think, in the early 2000s, maybe.
Was it that late? I thought it was more like the 90s. Maybe not.
So you said Feldman? You don't think you've
No,
seen
Haim.
it?
Haim.
I've seen Feldman and stuff.
If he's seen Goonies, he's seen Feldman.
Yeah, well, I've also seen him in stuff, but Haim, I think, died.
Haim's the one that died?
Yeah.
2010?
Yeah, 2010.
Yeah.
Okay, that's...
So,
A little bit later,
That's
but
later
like
than I thought.
his movie career kind of suffered after him and the
Yeah, that whole fun stuff with words we don't say on YouTube.
yeah.
yeah. So, okay. I'm going to go down a quick list. You tell me if you've seen any of these. License to Drive.
No.
Let's see. Double Switch.
No.
How about The Hostage Game?
No.
How about Crank?
No.
Never seen Crank?
No.
Hey, Nick, have you seen Crank?
No.
Lost Boys, The Tribe.
I didn't know that was a movie.
There's a part 2 to this movie, apparently.
Okay. Never seen it.
Yeah.
Y'all know what my next pick is now. Hey, man, you got to finish off series.
Not necessarily.
Oh, Wishmaster?
No.
Nope.
Fuck. God damn this. Oh, Batman and Robin.
Who is he in that one?
Biker gang member.
Oh yeah, he totally could pick him
So
out.
I will stand by that I haven't seen a Corey Haim movie then, if he is biker guy in Batman and Robin, a movie I don't really remember that much either, beyond people ragging on the internet and videos.
What about Dream a Little Dream?
No.
Watchers?
Don't think so.
Okay, I thought this guy had a more
No,
Prolific?
prolific
he really didn't.
career than this, but okay. Well,
I really don't think I'd seen a Corey Haim movie.
okay, well,
But I still knew the name and I knew the Coreys just because that was kind of... I grew up in the 80s.
oh yeah, no, they
Mostly
were.
the 90s. But
They
I was
were-
technically alive in the 80s.
Yeah, you were alive for a majority of the 80s, but they were still so formative that it's kind of like
It's a blur.
you're more of a 90s kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. was born in 74, so
You were more of an 80s
I was
kid.
I was in the thick of it. This is one that definitely stuck with me for like the longest time. It's a guilty pleasure movie that I do like to watch if it's ever on. I think Kiefer Sutherland to me is the standout in that movie.
Oh, I would agree.
I think he's the only standout in that movie too.
Really?
I would agree.
Yeah, like that Mike and Sam, like whatever. The kid's freaking out about vampires, and that's at this point that's old hat.
I mean, the only other person you could say really stood out was Nanook.
Grandpa's pretty good.
He's just an old guy who's kind of
He's there.
He's there for comedic
Yeah,
relief. He's comedic
there,
relief.
He makes a joke and then he's on to the next scene.
But Nanook is the goodest of boys, so
I still think, but no, yeah, Nick is the ghost of voice, but
Grandpa's there to put his Johnson in a Johnson.
I'm telling you, it's Inception. Johnson and Miss Johnson, it's Inception.
It's not Inception.
I wonder if he puts it in, it goes, wah. Sorry. It's... No, I think I still want to pick on this Johnson jokes some more.
no.
Okay, all right, I'll move on.
Let's move on. Please.
No, I like Grandpa. Like, one of my favorite lines on the entire
Grandpa's
movie.
a good character.
He's fine.
One of my favorite lines in the entire movie was, listen to this baby purr. You gotta let her warm up a little bit. All right, let's go to town. And then he turns the car off. The dude's like, what the fuck? And he's like, that's close to town I like to get. I fucking love that line. I think it was great.
Grandpa's a great character. He's good for the comedic beats to kind of help relieve the tension. It's useful in a horror film. You need that kind of character.
But I don't know that he's a standout, whereas I think Kiefer Sutherland is.
So yeah, it's if you had to rate it like people who gave it their all in that movie, he was definitely there to fucking win it. So Michael I thought was good, but you could tell the guy was like probably relatively new to acting at that point because his character was like just what angsty and moody.
I mean, he was
He's
he
a
kind of
teenager.
had a lot of deer in the headlights.
He was kind of like that 17-year-old kid, probably soon to leave the house, but now to uproot his life because his mom just got divorced.
Yeah.
So he's just that kind of like, well, I'm ready to be on my own, but I'm not on my own yet.
Right.
So he's got that kind of energy.
And he's
to him.
got the 14-year-old brother. I'm going to guess that's about how old Corey Haim is supposed to be. But they treat him like he's 10.
Yeah, where he's like, he can stay home on his own, he's fine.
Well, I
He's
mean,
got the beavers to protect him.
He gets tucked in every night, and his mommy has to close his closet doors. It's like he's treated himself like a little kid too. So it's just like he's a little babied.
yeah. I mean, when he's old, Sam's old enough to watch himself. And then you're just like, okay, he's 14. He's definitely older. And then you get to the bathtub. I ain't got a home. Like where he's doing the kid thing of giving yourself a soap mohawk and shit. And I was like, okay, yeah, maybe he is 10. He's just a big 10. But yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, it's the funny part is that when I picked this movie tonight, I was like, oh man, we're gonna talk like for 45 minutes on this movie, and like, I was really actually kind of shocked where like I was watching up to the halfway point in this movie, I was like, if you didn't know what you were walking into, you'd be like,
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't seem like.
You're
a
like,
vampire.
where's the Peter Pan stuff coming?
yeah.
And it's like, why did they attack that man with a drone?
Exactly. It's a lot of wow 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 noises, and then like you could hear the dudes like in the background, and then like people flying off with car doors and shit. And I was just kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't know. It's like
I don't disagree.
yeah, but I mean, I still give it a 7. It's still a really good movie.
I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think it does some interesting bits with vampire lore. That's for certain.
Speaking of,
Yeah. Speaking of,
that's called a segue.
And what's intended to be.
bam,
All right, so let's see.
we're fucking nailing this shit.
So our list of 19 traits here. We got first up, blood dependency,
Yes.
Yes.
immortality,
Yes.
physical prowess.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they were still picking people up and flying with them, so yeah.
Yeah. They flew off with a dude holding a card door.
Magical prowess, which has like enchanting gaze and thrall creation.
I would say yes, because I
of the
think
maggot
the maggots and the worm
worms
stuff.
and-
Yep.
It's like they did it that one time. They didn't do it. Like
I think it was David was playing mind games with him, so that way when it came time to drink the wine,
He would drink it.
that he would drink it because he knew Star would say, "Oh, it's not wine,"
yeah. It's blood. Yeah. Okay.
because it was, and it could be explained away of, oh, it was the marijuana they smoked. Because remember, right before that, they did.
Yeah.
No,
Some
it
drugs.
wasn't marijuana. It was appetizers.
Oh, okay. Well, it was marijuana. Come on.
Which I guess segues into magical blood.
Yes.
Definitely.
Nigh unkillable, so steaks, beheading, burnt to ash.
Yeah.
So I mean, they yes, because they've got like the vampire weaknesses, but yeah, it's kind of the barely. Because was he speared on antlers,
Yeah.
He was.
and that killed him?
Yeah. So it was just
I-
pointing things through.
I think it's just stake through
it's-
the heart, but it doesn't have to
it's
be
the heart weakness, not the wood through the heart
Yeah.
weakness. Yeah.
well, I mean, so.
It's not like Buffy where it was like, oh, it's synthetic
it's
wood,
a-
so that's
yeah.
why it didn't kill
but
Spike.
nigh unkillable is like.
Spoilers for Buffy if you've never seen season 5.
When they staked Bill.
When you point it out like that, sure.
When they staked Bill, they were unsteadily on a cavern thing
And they went-
with one of the
and-
stakes that just has the little tiny point on it. It's not even like one that's designed to go through. It's just got like the little 1-inch like filed down point, and he just went. And then like the next scene is it's all the way fucking through him. So I think those guys were made of cardboard.
Well, that's what you get when you watch a vampire movie. It's time to stake someone. Super fucking easy. I think only in maybe like Dracula Dead and Loving It, and maybe in Dracula, I don't quite remember. When they actually have to hammer the stake in through ribs, are you actually getting?
I think they do that in Dracula as well.
Yeah, where you have to actually you're driving
Yeah.
wood through bone. You
E-
need to put some heft to
Even
it.
Yeah.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV show, it would
It's
just
we've got Willow just kind of going like, meh. And like through halfway through.
Cordelia
and it's,
did
and it's
it.
going through someone's chest right to the heart.
Yeah.
That's nigh unkillable because that's how you kill them.
Okay. All right, we'll take it.
Like if you shot him with a bullet,
Yeah.
it wasn't gonna. It's not gonna do anything.
All right.
I mean, they fell from the rafters of a from the rafters when they're hanging underneath the train.
Oh yeah.
So-
it kind of flew away or.
Oh
whatever.
yeah, we need to get to that one because I got some talking to do about that
All right.
one.
So shape shifting.
It's iffy. I don't think in the traditional sense, but then but the whole
shape shifting for like bats, wolves, and mist.
Okay.
For like the different they've got
because
the,
he's
that,
got
that-
but the bat feet that
Yeah.
you see David has after Bill is staked. I don't know what the actual vampire's name.
Maybe it's implied that while they're making their noise when they're flying, maybe they're bats. Maybe they're giant bat people.
I did like how they showed that they slept like bats rather than traditional coffins.
that's
That was like one of those little switches. You
Yeah.
know, it's like a coffin. They were entombed underground, but it was
they're not actually in a coffin.
yeah.
whole thing's
But they were
coffin.
hanging like bats, so that was cool.
Which I mean, we can skip over the next one just to talk about coffin dependency because that wasn't there either.
Yeah.
Not really. They don't have to sleep in a coffin. They've got their lair, but that's more. to keep the
But
sunlight.
we did see that maybe they do need coffins to keep from floating away.
you need a roof over your head, so like when you're floating in your sleep, you just bump into the ceiling.
Yeah.
Is that why coffins are padded? Damn it.
Distinctive appearance.
Yes.
Yes.
Apparently, we need to add bad breath to that one too, because apparently that's a thing.
I just love their very short list.
Yeah. Do you have bad breath? Long fingernails?
He's always
Sleep
Sleep
a lot of-
during the day and wear sunglasses during the day.
and he's always
He
had
sleeps
bad
a lot.
breath.
He's a fucking vampire.
I know a lot of people in my life who were vampires. That's all I gotta say.
So monstrous / predatory.
Yes.
So that little monster's feet. That's where I'd put
Okay.
that one.
Okay.
That's why I've got monstrous form, which I think is what we gave to Dracula when he
Okay.
turned into like the werewolf man.
Okay.
Because it's not really full on animal, but
I can
they're-
agree with that.
They're kind of there.
Okay.
But that's also where we got stalking and hunting, which
Yeah.
they do that too.
Oh yeah, totally.
Tragic figure. They didn't really play him up as tragic.
No, I mean the only tragic one was, I mean, maybe Laddie, and that's just because you see his picture on the milk carton.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the story's not about him, so I would say no. We
Laddie
don't know
and
enough.
Star.
But he's had like,
We don't know anything about Star though. We don't. All we know is she got tricked.
Yeah.
And she's fighting the urge to kill.
Yeah,
That's
she
it.
doesn't want to become a
We
vampire.
don't know enough about the secondary characters, the vampires, to know if they're tragic because the vampires really aren't the story. Michael would be the most tragic of them, and I don't know that I would say that he was tragic. He
was a rebellious youth more than
Yeah.
anything, I would think. Because whereas the tragic one is more of like, I've lived so long and all the people, my loved ones are dead.
my wife flung herself from the tower and she died, and I came home and I threw my sword into the cross and it burst into blood and I was cursed with this form.
Yeah, that's tragedy.
That's tragic.
I think that only counts for Dracula then.
No.
No, there's plenty of other vampires.
I mean,
that
like
can-
Lestat and which
Louis.
which one's the Tom Cruise? Tom Cruise or Louis?
Louis is Brad Pitt. Lestat is Tom Cruise.
Okay. 'Cause like
and Louis is definitely tragic.
Yeah.
Lestat, it's arguable.
So Randy,
I mean,
not anymore.
Michael is Randy.
not any more than a regular teenage
Yeah,
boy.
he's a teenage boy. The other guys weren't hunting women to be like, ooh.
What's wrong with me, Star? Michael, I tried to tell you. Am I gonna get this thing wet? Yeah, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Again, teenage boy.
It's like, I'm going through a lot of stuff right now. Sex. It's like, yeah, okay.
All right, fine, then no.
Let me pencil that in real quick.
Okay, I'm gonna say 50-50.
No.
No?
No.
Okay, I've been out.
I feel like it's more teenage boy.
There are like 5 vampires that they show in this movie. 4 of them don't really exhibit any randiness, and the 5th one is more of like, I want to have a family.
Yeah, he was looking to basically create the epic vampire family, and he wasn't laying it down like, let us make sweet love. He's like, nah. He gave her a couple of polite kisses.
All
They
right.
weren't even like passionate kisses. It's kisses that you would see between mom and dad after they've been married for 37 years. You're like, all right, we're done.
I'm gonna say get down in the comments. I say that
No.
there was definitely randiness. They say no.
Go down in the comments.
I will make sure
Go
that
down in the comments and agree with yourself.
No. No.
And I'll upvote it, and I'll put a comment and go, this channel totally agrees. And I'll put /Lance next to it.
That's fucked up. Okay. All right. I see the way it is.
All right.
I'm outvoting myself. Okay.
Next up, hierarchy.
Oh, that totally. It's one of the first ones that truly showed, I think, hierarchy of all
Yeah,
of
that's
us
when
we
I
watched.
absolutely like you kill the main vampire,
Yeah.
everyone else turns back to normal.
It was great.
Or at least I don't know if it was every vampire because they killed all the other vampires
So
beforehand.
it was they were using the Vampires Everywhere comic book kind of as like a hard and fast rules, and it was if you were a half vampire still, you're
not quite there.
You weren't quite there. So and to transition from half vampire to vampire, you had to have your first blooded kill where you actually killed someone and drank their blood.
Yeah.
So until you did that, you were like in this in between state.
Yeah.
And then so those people could be returned, which Supernatural actually has similar vampire rules for their vampires.
Even like when we watched Fright Night, that was possible too. Their rule was the first night, or like when the first night ends.
Yeah. Well, Amy.
Yeah. Well, she got turned, but she would whatever was fixed beforehand. Therefore, she turned back.
That's true.
So it's in fiction, and that definitely applies for the fact that there's a hierarchy of some sort.
Yeah. It checks out.
Sunlight weakness,
yes.
Definitely.
holy weakness,
Yes.
Definitely.
forbidden.
So
This one's weird.
it's weird because I think that, and I think I like what they did because they gave it a meaning, but they didn't do it in the traditional sense.
Like you can come in and you're a vampire, but like
Yeah.
if you get invited in,
You-
you're like a
you-
person or something.
It renders you powerless.
It renders I think the traditional weaknesses that they would have, which is why he could eat garlic, why Max could eat garlic, why Max
why he had a reflection.
reflection is
And the holy
because
water didn't burn
that
him.
was why he intentionally requested the invitation so that way
He was not a vampire when he was inside. Which
yeah
is- it's
and he
interesting.
could eat.
So I have a bone to pick with that part. Michael is not the man of the house. Grandpa is. It's his house.
But
You live there.
he lives there.
Barely. A
But
day.
it wasn't traditional forbiddance rules where you have to be invited to cross the threshold. It doesn't have to be the master of the house who invites you. Anybody who calls that house a dwelling or is considered, again, Buffy. I think
Yeah,
the heart
that's why.
Okay.
of it.
That's why Dawn can invite people in, despite the fact that she's not the head of the household.
Yeah. So
Okay.
'Cause it's
and Buffy
her
could
house.
invite people in because it was still her mom's house, and why Willow can invite people in even though it's not her house. It's if you call it your dwelling and it's a private residence.
I mean, also in Let the Right One In, he invited her in.
He's not.
He's
the
he's a little kid, but he lives there, and it's an apartment building, which I think would have an even weaker threshold.
So I didn't know this was a lawyer show. I didn't know I was getting for fucking lawyer.
No, when you're saying like,
No, I'm kidding. I'm just joking. I agree with you 100%. But it's just
pointing
it's,
out that you don't have to be the head of the
Yeah,
household.
but and like I said, I just liked it because I thought that was one of the things I got out of this. That was a unique twist, and I think that's something because I watched it so young, I never truly picked up on why why they were able to do a little bit of misdirection with Max's character, because they sow those seeds and they're like, oh, maybe that is it, and then they do all this stuff and grandstanding, and it's like, okay, well, he just passed all the tests, so you're like, okay, and then the reveal is, David's dead and nobody is reverted.
What I was hoping it was going to be Star. It's like that would have been interesting.
That would have been
where
interesting.
she's like luring in, because that's why do you have all boys? Because the female vampire
because
goes
she's
out
the siren.
and goes in and lures them in and then kind of gets them to join.
That
the boys
would
club.
have been
would've
really
been better.
interesting. And you know, if somebody wants to, you know, if somebody in the Hollywood is watching this and is thinking about doing a remake of Lost Boys, you know, feel free to contact Nick, see if his idea is worth you know, giving him some money.
Make it the kid.
Or just pay me.
Make it the kid.
That's what I did this.
Yeah. I was agreeing with you.
I thought you were playing the world's smallest violin.
No, I was like, give him the money.
Make it Star.
Make it rain.
Tragic figure.
So after that's water weakness.
Well, no.
No. Because that's more of like you can't cross the running water unless you're like in a crypt or in your coffin. Like in Symphony of the Night, the old PlayStation game, when you're submerged in water, you burn.
Yeah,
And
I
you have
mean,
to
the
get
only
the
water
symbol.
that had any effect was the holy
holy
water.
water, yeah.
And like if you could even say like when they spilled the water on Max's crotch, that was holy water.
Yeah,
They
it was.
didn't show you putting it in holy water, but with
But it said, like,
everything
that's-
else that
that's
they
why
were
it
doing,
does
that's
it burn?
clearly
Yeah.
holy water.
Plus, like, Max lived in a house and there was a bridge that went out. So he, like, walks over fucking running water to get to his domicile every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, the train tracks over the water.
Yeah.
They live basically at the beach.
The
Yeah.
motherfuckers fly out of a cave over the ocean to go
The water
eat.
could easily come in on high tide, on like if there was like a higher than normal tide. If you looked at the way that was, those caves could easily get flooded from time to time.
Which would be a cool way to hide your lair or whatever. Like during high tide, it comes up and hides it.
Yeah.
So during the day, like that you might not even be able to have people come in and try to stake you.
Yeah.
That's a good point. All right. So
Silver weakness. That's where we have no reflection.
that
I mean, it was showing that was the case with Michael when he was in his half
He was
state.
half faded out.
it was
yeah.
disappearing.
And I think that if he had become a full vampire, that he would have lost it.
Yeah.
But again, you know, there's the whole thing where Max had a reflection, but again, goes back to the fact that he said, "Oh, well, when you invite me in, your powers are rendered."
So with
Useless.
with their twist on it, saying when you invite a power in, it renders you helpless.
Yeah.
Then that tells me that everything in the Lost Boys universe, the garlic, the holy water, the no reflection,
No,
are all
garlic was a misnomer all around, because even the one
The
vampire.
one vampire called out garlic specifically is not working against him.
okay. Well, then the holy water and then the reflection stuff, that would be probably things put to make humans not as helpless, like things that humans could see to find out if they were actually fighting vampires. And then when you invite them into your house, then basically all of those advantages just go away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I think they also did that because most people, the first time you walk into Max's shop and they're just walking around like staring at him and shit, you're like, oh, they're gonna fucking eat him. And then later on, you're just like, well, maybe he's the head vampire because why the fuck is his mom's story part of the storyline important?
Yeah.
You know, like it's all about the boys. And then they do that to make you think, okay, maybe he's not the head vampire, just to give you the old 1-2 at the end.
And then they showed the one scene with Max with the kite,
kite.
which again just seems kind of weird and out there. And it's like, why did he get a bat kite? And it turns out they're like, hey, we know your daddy. That's pretty much what that message was. But it makes it look like they're still possibly stalking him, and they just haven't had a chance to get to him because it's already been established early on that dogs can sense vampires and will protect their owners. So perhaps Thorn, that's one of the reasons why Thorn is there, is he's there to protect Max from vampiric presences, so the gang won't approach him at his house because of Thorn. And when in fact it's like, oh no, we work for him.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but like I also thought it was funny that the movie goes through great pains to say Max isn't a vampire, only to have the kid read the section "The Hounds of Hell" as his mom's walking up to the house, and then the dog's freaking out, like chasing her down. It was kind of like,
Well, that was before the dinner.
okay,
Yeah.
well,
The Hounds of Hell thing was after she left the dinner out with Max.
Yeah,
Right.
And so she was bringing the wine to apologize, and she breaks the bottle of wine as Thorn tries to kill her. Thorn! Oh my God, he was destroying that wood.
that dog was a white lab. They're the sweetest dogs in the world.
I don't think he was a lab.
He's a hound of hell.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he was a lab. He had pointy ears.
Yeah, okay, maybe. All right, well,
He looked more like a white shepherd to me.
I wonder if that's one we wheel in there somewhere about like animal. I don't know, not control, but like animals can sense you, and like animals don't like you because you're undead and unnatural.
no, so like supernatural.
So maybe like unnatural aura. Would that be like under maybe distinctive appearance, or maybe not appearance, but
Magical.
magical prowess? Like
Yeah.
that sort of
Oh,
creepy aura. Because I mean that's in a lot of vampire
Yeah.
stuff. Where
I think we could feather that one in at this point, right?
well, into something, but I'm
But
just
that's
kind of
one of the things, but
something we can loop into something else. Where
Oh, wait a minute. We should put that underneath, like, people looking in mirrors to see if they could see vampires.
that's silver weakness.
that's silver specifically.
Because the idea is the silver, most mirrors used to be backed by silver for the reflection, because silver was such a reflective metal that when it was highly polished, and that's why the reflection didn't work, is because it was through silver.
Vampires would be very successful in this day and age since nothing is made of anything precious anymore.
Yeah,
so.
no. Okay, if we got attacked by werewolves, like right now, what do you have silver in this house?
I have some jewelry.
I think I have some coins.
Take this!
Ow!
You dick!
Fuck!
I think I have some jewelry,
Yeah.
but I would have to go digging for it, so it's not readily available.
Yeah, we'd be kind of fucked.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Last up is garlic weakness, which was garlic was shown, but then the vampire specifically said like, it doesn't work on me, and then like have a holy water, and then he splashes.
Yeah. Because he
Okay.
saw the tub full of garlic, and he would just laughed it off.
Yeah.
So out of 18 of them,
19.
19, well, yeah, out of 19, I think 2 didn't check out.
Coffin dependency, tragic figure, Randy, garlic and water weakness. I think were the 5 that didn't really show up.
So 14 of 19. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. So it's like, I almost with that list, it's like somebody was kind of like, we want to make a movie that is a vampire movie that has like traditional vampire movie stuff. So it's like they hired a guy and be like, okay, so hierarchy, yes, let's put it in there. Silver, yeah, let's put it in there. How about randiness? They're teenage kids in this movie. No one's gonna buy that shit. Okay. Running water, that's fucking stupid, Paul. Move on. Okay. Moving on to the next
I
one.
think the running water thing comes out of Eastern Europe.
It's still there for it's there for
I think
there for Dracula because he always had.
Yeah, I think it's an Eastern Europe thing.
In the coffin, and like water is supposed to be pure, especially running water is supposed to be pure, and it's supposed to be the purity of the water. It does not
Yeah.
allow the evilness to pass.
But playing enough of Vampire the Masquerade, I think a lot of the times you get like you can do some research to find out the root cause of some of like the flaws you can get, and that was one of them.
We're gonna have to watch a movie with the Jiangxi and turn this whole list on. Like we don't need this list at all.
Right.
What you just said is the purity of the water. Maybe that's why there wasn't a running water thing in this movie, because they were in fucking California. And the oceans there are fucking filthy. There's no pureness of it, so...
I wonder
Quite
if
possible.
I wonder if
Quite
maybe
possible.
salt water is not considered pure, maybe too. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
You know, we're gonna have to go back and watch Dracula again, and then find out like what bodies of water he crossed.
Oh,
and
he
then
crossed.
Across an ocean.
Because in order to leave Transylvania, he's going to have to board a boat, and I don't think he goes out on the. I don't think he crossed and left via Germany. I think he leaves,
Via the
goes to the
Mediterranean.
Mediterranean, and then goes up around, which then Mediterranean goes to Atlantic to go to Europe instead of going to, what is it, the Baltic Sea that connects. That's between Germany and the.
I'm not 100%.
Like, because if you go up to Germany, you would just be going across the English
called-
Channel.
Geography. I know Europe.
It would just really be the English Channel, because you would, if you were going across land, and I don't think they did that.
No, I think they were.
because the English Channel is such a short trip, even then.
Well, I think they took a long journey because
Yeah.
he left Europe to go back to Transylvania.
And it took about a month, and I think that would
everyone
be-
and everyone else beat him there or something like
Yeah.
that, almost for the most part.
Yeah, and then
Because they would have gone across the English Channel and, then
traveled land.
traveled by land, carriage, trains.
He didn't describe it quite like that, but he did say, "I've traveled oceans of time to be with you," which means geography lesson.
Yeah.
So,
I know my geography, kind of.
not me.
I know some of them. If you're gonna,
I actually have a coworker who's from Romania, so
I have no idea. I know that our state is bordered by Florida, Georgia, and Japan. So
close.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, guys,
Yes.
would y'all recommend watching this movie to the casual observer?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
We recommend showing it to you.
I would. The caveat would be if they enjoy horror, because this really the only defining I think genre for this film is horror. I don't feel like it has. It's not horror comedy, and it's not really horror drama or
Yes.
horror romance. It's just kind of horror.
And even then, it's light horror.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to be okay with the gratuitous amounts of blood, because I mean, come on, the guy in the bathtub, that was anime level of blood.
Except
It got
doesn't
into
really
some-
look blood-like. It looks more like goo.
Yeah, but still, it's anime
Yeah,
levels
he comes
goo.
out as a skeleton or whatever.
Well, not only that, but like when
But it goes all somehow
Yeah.
it went through all of the pipes.
It's like it went down the drain and just exploded at anything that was connected to the
it
waterworks.
was hardcore.
It was neat.
So also the anime copious amounts of like anime blood was also Campfire when David bites the one dude and it was just like you can see it just spray.
Yeah,
behind him.
when they started doing the horror elements, they
Yeah,
were very gratuitous with
Yeah, I
it.
like that little fire party with the bonfire. They bite people and then like toss them.
I will say, I feel like maybe the people who designed Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV show makeup maybe took some inspiration from this, because
Well,
some of the bumpy forehead bits and eyes looked similar.
And Spike looks a lot like
Kiefer Sutherland's character, David. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
It's like a mix of David Bowie, Billy Idol, and David from Lost Boys.
maggots, Michael. You're eating maggots. How do they taste?
pretty good actually.
What the fuck, Mike? You're kind of gross. How about the news, Michael? I love worms.
Oh, worms!
Fuck this guy.
How about some blood? I don't drink blood.
I've had enough.
We're in the 80s. I don't drink blood.
Never before 9:30, David. Sorry. So I'm going to add. We skipped over one quick part. So basically, the basis of the movie is two kids and their mother move in with their grandfather in California
After a divorce, yeah.
After a divorce, find out that the people they move to the murder capital of the world, and then craziness ensues with vampire shenanigans. That's pretty much everything you need to know to find out, is this a movie I want to watch? We should have done this at the beginning, because right now you're neck deep in it. But I want to also ask you guys, and you should be really good at this one, buddy.
Depends on which one you do.
All right, so IMDb.
Okay.
What is the score? What out of 10, what does IMDb give this movie?
6.2.
6.2.
I'll go 8.1.
7.2.
Okay.
You were a
7.2
little
out of 10.
closer.
By 0.9, would you give it a 6.2?
So I was off by 1. You were off by 0.9.
0.9.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right, so not bad. And then on Rotten Tomatoes.
So this one I'm going to be good at, because when you pulled it up on the Plex server, I had the two scores right there.
Oh, then I'm going to ask Amber first.
Yeah, you can ask him.
The
Amber, what did the critics give this movie?
critics gave this 45.
45?
Was it a 75?
Is that your final answer?
That's what I saw. That's what I remember.
So it's 76.
Okay. Then it was slightly off by a point on your little Plex server.
All right. Well, I mean, God knows what.
I actually thought they would be pretty down on it because it's a vampire movie.
Yeah, and it's weird, but I guess maybe because it's 80s movie with like.
And I mean,
whatever.
it's fairly original even for like a horror film from the 80s.
I'm sure if you went back and watched like the Siskel and Ebert bullshit, they probably all were like, "This movie fucking blows."
Yeah. Okay.
But now,
Audience,
yeah,
I'll say gave it a 72.
72,
85.
8. Right on the money, Nick. Wow.
That's the only reason I remember it, because it said 75 and 85. I'm like, oh, that's easy. I'm like, oh, damn it.
All right, I'm gonna have to keep that in mind if we ever have to watch anything on Plex in the future.
Yeah. It's gonna have the scores right there, and it's one of those things like I didn't know it was there.
All right. Well.
Sorry, Lance, I took away your game, but Amber could still play.
All right, well, that was everything. So, and just to run down some of the major names in this movie, because I know we've said a few of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a movie that was directed by Joel Schumacher. You'll also know
ironically enough, did do Batman and Robin.
Yes, and he apologized for Batman and Robin too. Yeah, you'll know him from such movies as 23, which I thought was actually pretty good. The new Phantom of the Opera movie.
I like that one.
Oh, Joel Schumacher did that one? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sure did. He also did. So
I like the number 23 as well.
I don't think I remember
That's
that.
it. Isn't that the Jim Carrey one?
When you write, it's got all the writing on them, or is that a different? Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, that's where he's seeing 23 everywhere.
I've not seen that
Yeah,
one.
it's kind of a psychological thriller in a way. It was really it's very. Oh, what's the guy who does like Zodiac and Seven and all those films? Do you know which director and writer I'm thinking of?
I don't off the top of my head.
But you know who I'm talking about. It's like
do.
it's very similar in style to those to a degree where it's kind of like there's something else going on.
It's a psychological thriller.
It if you watched the preview and went in to go see that movie, it's not what you thought it was going to be though.
It's kind of like Interstellar in that way. He also did 8mm. He directed 8mm, Batman and Robin, A Time to Kill, Batman Forever, Falling Down, Flatliners,
Hey.
The Lost
likes
Boys.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, he does like Kiefer Sutherland apparently. But I mean, Kiefer Sutherland's pretty awesome.
He's a good actor.
You had Jason Patrick as Michael. You had Corey Haim as Sam. You had Diane Wiest as Lucy.
Who reminded me for some reason the entire time as the mom or sister to the girl from Mallrats with the way she talked.
Okay.
I don't remember.
You know,
Mallrats enough.
the one who's
It's been so long since I've seen that one.
yeah, but Mr. Svenning's daughter. It's just the way she talked. It was very similar to her.
Okay.
Can you hear it now that I
I
point
do,
that
now
out?
that you pointed that out. So, Amber, here's a fun fact for you. Grandpa
Yeah.
was also...
In Sister Act 2 as one of the friars. Yeah, I know.
yeah, so you had Bernard Hughes as Grandpa. You had Edward Herman
You
as...
can hear it once you know it.
Oh, I don't remember
Yeah.
this track too.
Well, he's got that voice, that high kind of nasally voice.
Edward Herman, who was in Overboard.
Yes, he was Max. Keith Sutherland as David. Jamie Gertz as Star. Now, I've seen this lady before, but like I can't think of anything else she's been in. So, and I'm looking at some of her finer.
Oh, Twister.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, she was in Twister apparently. So she must have been, I don't know.
She probably didn't do much other than this film because, you know, she's kind of like, meh.
She's cute. You have Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman is Edgar Frog. Other notable people. You had Alexander Winter as Marco.
He's
who
one of the
you-
vampires.
Who you would also know as Bill S. Preston Esquire. Anyone else?
Not really.
Nah. Wait, did they give any kind of love to Epic Saxophone Guy in here? No. No. That's a fucking crime. Okay, anyways.
Well, I guess he did technically have a speaking line, but he could have been considered score at that point and been in
Yeah.
the score section of it.
He was like, I still believe. That dude had cum gutters. Anyways,
Stop trying to fit that into videos.
sorry. I didn't know you were so sensitive about cum
YouTube's going to
gutters.
smack you down.
All right, we'll go back and bleep it.
No.
No. That's at least a word that gets used in English.
I didn't hear about it.
Noah's whereas YouTube is being mighty mean about videos that say, well, not that we monetize them at this point in time, but
Robots. They're just trying to get away from paying people.
Yeah.
So whatever. We live in dark days. Not that anybody pays us shit, so we can say whatever we want to. Fuck. Anyways, so yeah, that was Lost Boys. Guys, do y'all have anything else y'all want to bring up about it?
not really.
Like
It
most
was
of the stuff I wanted to bring up, I brought up while we discussed the
the
breakdown of the
powers.
stuff because that was the part that really struck me.
Yeah, that was the stuff
and
that
other
was
than I
interesting.
just again want to reiterate, Nanook is the goodest of boys,
He's awesome. Him and Thor.
and I would have been very upset had they not gone out to save Nanook before David and his cronies arrived to kill them.
Why the fuck was the dog tied to the fence in the first place?
Because
They put
they put him
Nanook
up there 'cause he
outside.
was freaking out from Star,
Star
and
and
the kid.
Star and Laddie because they were vampires too, and he knew not to attack Michael, but then they bringing two other vampires into the house, and he's just getting overprotective of Sammy
I don't know.
because he's the goodest of boys.
It's like the dog could detect the prey engine in them because it's like when Michael went to go after Sam the first time, Nanook was like freaking out before he even walked through the bathroom door.
Well, I
but
mean,
then
it's-
after that, when he was like, Sam, let me in the house before I fly away like a helium balloon, and like he lets him inside, and he's like, Sam, you can't tell Mom. The dog's just like, are we cool with this, Sam? Am I biting his face or what?
We let this happen now.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like when Michael's going up the staircase, they show him in complete darkness. You can't see him, so you could make the speculation that he could have been slightly vamped out at that point and just didn't know it.
That's true.
It's just giving off predator vibes. You know, like when your animal just kind of goes into like, there's something wrong mode.
Yeah.
You're so hangry. You're not. It's like the Nook's like someone's coming up the stairs and they knew.
Hey, animals' hackles, they come up for a reason.
Well, it's
And
like-
they sense stuff we don't.
Well, it's like, Michael's coming up the stairs and Nook's like, someone needs a fucking Snickers on the other side of that door because they are not themselves right now, and then basically just attack them. So
Goodest of boys.
the dog's all right. Stupid ass name, but I think
I think it might have been Indian.
Yeah.
I mean, they were from Phoenix, so I think
or
there's
maybe-
a Native American
Or maybe Inuit or something.
influence.
So I thought he was like an Alaskan Husky or something like that. So they gave him kind of a an Inuit name.
I thought he was a Malamute too. So,
But they had come from Phoenix, and there was clearly Native American stuff on the house.
Nanook. The Inuit religion, Nanook was the master of bears, meaning he decided to if hunters deserved success in finding and hunting bears and punished violations.
Cool.
So
All right.
polar bear.
No bears for vampires then.
Okay.
So is there anything else we want to say about Lost Boys?
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I guess the last little bit is does it suck? Lance, does this movie suck?
This movie nibbles.
Okay.
This movie definitely nibbles. It's entertaining. Like I said, I was literally like, we started the movie and I'm like, oh boy, Nick's never seen this movie. It's gonna be so good. And then like I got about halfway point and I was like, they tricked us into thinking this was a vampire movie up to a certain point because like they don't show anything.
They don't sell it as a vampire movie, really, from what I remember, because it was years before I knew. Like, I'd heard about the Lost Boys for a long time, and then I was like watching a best vampire movie list, and they're like, the Lost Boys. I'm like, oh, that's a vampire movie. No one ever talks about it being a vampire movie, so
Okay.
I think it's kind of one of those ones that's
Flies
meant
under the radar.
It's meant to fly under the. You're supposed to not know about it until a little bit later when they kind of like sneak it in, like, it's about vampires.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. I'd say it
Clearly,
nibbles.
they know something supernatural is going on from the very get-go, but
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? What did you think?
It's not quite to sucking or even biting. I think it's like lurking in a dark shadow, like hissing at you, maybe.
But this
That's why we
scale
get-
is getting broader and broader.
That's why we give our scores early on, so that they know what that means.
Okay.
As in, it's got the potential to do either.
All right.
It's kind of in the middle.
I like that. I'm going to use that. How about you, baby? What do you think?
I think it sucks so much as it got invited into the house and therefore is rendered human.
Okay.
Does that mean it's not a vampire movie then?
This.
Well, I mean, it is and it isn't. It's there's so much of it that isn't, but then it is. So it's kind of like aha. Then it just suck on your neck and you're getting a gross hickey.
I think that was the other thing. Is like
Hickeys.
add it to the list. Hickeys. I think the other thing is like it's like you said, it's one of those ones where it like creeps under the radar because like you're like, okay, they're flying away with people. Is this a vampire movie? And then the first
Maybe
time
it's
they
an
go,
alien film.
the first time they go to hunt at the little bonfire, they're like biting people. Like I don't know, I noticed it this time.
Let's keep ourselves
They
alive.
they.
He bit him in the
Did
head.
it like-
I always knew that.
And like his skull, like the skin was coming back from his skull. He's like scalping the guy, but like you're like boring. Fuck. So like
And then again, with all the flying, again, if you just knew that it was called The Lost Boys, you could think it's like some horror Peter Pan film.
Yeah, that could be too.
it still could be. It was a boys' club.
Yeah.
It was definitely a boys' club.
Max was Hook.
And Star was
Or,
Tinkerbell.
or was Max evil Peter Pan?
I think he was evil.
And Grandpa was Hook.
Yeah. All right, we want to put a nail in this coffin.
Hey, Grandpa was Smee. Yeah. Let's do that. So the verdict is
Eh.
meh. Yeah.
It's meh on the positive side.
Yeah. It's a good movie.
If you like horror or you like vampire movies, you'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah.
You'll probably like half this movie.
It's well, I mean, you know.
It doesn't fade too badly with nostalgia and time. It's held up well, I'll say.
Well, this movie definitely has meme ability because thrusting sax guy was a meme for the longest time. So there you go.
He's still a meme. He's just a dead meme.
I still believe.
All right. So I guess join us next month for Amber's pick.
Yeah, we'll find out what I choose.
Who knows?
You have a sneak preview for us?
Nope.
No.
Blood Rain 2.
Well, she's still that might be mine.
Oh.
It might not be. I might pick out something more awful.
I feel like if I keep...
I'm probably picking something awful.
Really?
Probably.
Like what?
Well, it's Blood Rain 2. There's another certain movie with sparkly people in it that would also be awful.
Fuck you. I'm done with the series if you do that.
I'm all for this. I'll bring wine for that one.
Oh, God. That review, I'll be drunk as shit. Just be like, it might be fucking... yeah.
No, you won't. You'll be sober. You'll be over there drinking. I'll walk over and smack it out of your hand.
I'll have to pregame before you get to the house.
You're watching all of it. It's going to be like Clockwork Orange.
Dude, I remember I went and saw that.
No. Well, that's a story for another time.
Fine. All right.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.